Long as you got your eyes, got your trippy on them private jets, taking trips. Come back at 6, wake me and your child, and then won't lay today, make me wonder who.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making something that I know that you've been dying to see me make. Today we're going to be making plantain porridge and sweet potato porridge. Ta -ta 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 -ta. So this is our plantain. We're going to be using unripe plantain as well as ripe plantain. Now this plantain has been in the fridge for a while. This is our sweet potato. I had to cut these up so they don't all go bad, even though it looks like they're still going bad, but it is what it is. So let's get into it. Now, the thing with making plantain porridge is that everything has a technique to it. I cut these up a few days ago and put them in the fridge, but I'm going to show you what they look like. Let me see if they're still good. They still smell okay. I was trying to save them from going bad, which is also why I preserved this like this, and as you can see, it worked. So I was trying to save these from ripening up. So when it comes to this, how you cut your plantain matters, right? For your plantain porridge. Growing up, this had to be one of the skills I had to learn very fast. So because if you cut it any other way, my mother was gonna scold you. By you, I mean I or my siblings, obviously. I realized this was here. Anyways, so plantain is giving me a tough time to peel it. Unfortunately, looks like I still lost some of it, despite my plan to try to save them. But here we go. So plantain porridge is, when you hear porridge as someone from the Caribbean, what you think is something that you drink, something that can be made into, liquid form. But when we say porridge, we actually mean pottage. So if you do know what pottage is, then you would be able to get what I'm talking about. So like I said, there's a skill to this. I'm kind of in a hurry, so I'm trying not to follow the skill, but this is basically the skill. It has to come out tiny like this. Some people make theirs big, but I grew up watching my mom cut it tiny, and that just kind of stuck with me. And I prefer it tiny now. So, but at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, this is the right way to cut your plantain for your plantain porridge. This takes a lot of time, but it gives you that delicious tiny plantain porridges to work with. So but at every point, you just make sure you cut into multiples so that you're able to get what you desire. All right, so this is it. Grab this one so you can see the difference between the freshly cut plantain and the one I cut many years ago. Not many years ago, but like maybe few days ago. So the difference is very, very clear, as you can see. But they're all going in the pot, so that's fine. Now for our sweet potato, this is what we're going to do. We're going to try to remove, all of these excesses, try to get it as fresh as possible. That's what we're going to try to do. Of course, maybe a little hard, but there's no harm in trying. So So with this one, actually, we're going to be cutting this into tiny pieces as well. Not as tiny as the plantain. I just want to show you how the pieces would look before I pause the camera for a bit and proceed to do my work. So let's try to remove all of this excesses. This just looks like a waste of sweet potato, but I feel like it would have been worse if I hadn't done this, right? So this one has to wash. There you have it. So you've gotten the concept, right? Right. I have a sweet potato, sorry, a ripe plantain that I'm going to be adding to this. So I just want to show you guys how I'm gonna cut this one up. It's a bit easier to handle. You can see it's a huge plantain. So I'm only going to be using one. So using sweet plantain or ripe plantain makes the food actually sweet. I remember my father used to hate when it's ripe plantain, but I don't mind it, so sometimes I add it. But I don't want the sweetness to be too much, so I am not using a lot. I still do like my unripe plantain, but I don't mind the sweetness, so most times I would add some of the ripe as well. Look at how I'm struggling with this thing, you guys. Just look at the struggle. And it's breaking off, eh? So let me just break it so I can manage it. It looks like I have to break it to be able to manage it. So now it is more manageable. Yay! You can also see the difference when I'm cutting it as compared to when I'm doing the unripe one, right? It's too cute. So, have you ever tried plantain porridge before? Do you think after watching this video you'll be trying it? You don't have to answer now. You can wait till the end of the video to give me an answer, because then you would know how to actually make it, and then that would help you to decide if it's something that is worth all the hassle you are watching right now. Personally, I know it's worth it because it tastes great, but don't let my opinion help you make up your mind. You make up your mind yourself, right? Right. You are. This red plantain is fighting me. Or what is this? Oh my god! Any more riper than this, and I wouldn't have even been able to cut it, it seems. Wow. Okay, ripey. Okay, okay. So, let's go. Remember the key is to cut as small as you can. And yeah. Okay, so now we're going to prep our meat. This is some lobster I had before. I'm just going to add it. This is I think this is some pork that came in a pack. I'm just going to cut them up to use. This meat has already been seasoned and cooked, but I don't want it in my pot in big lumps, so I'm just going to cut them up. And I think I have some salmon as well that I'm going to add in. This would more than likely break up into pieces, so it's a waste of time me even cutting it up. See, just mashing up. I was going to use this to make wraps, but I haven't been able to buy the wraps, so I'm just going to cook it and buy another one next time. And then there's chicken, some tiny chickens. This ones I won't be cutting up. Just show you. Oh, what our meat is like. So I'll also be adding some corned beef to this. Perhaps by now you have figured out just how much I love meat. I don't know. But yeah. So getting ready to start the real process. Okay, so everything has been cut and washed and prepped, and we are actually ready to start. So this is our sweet potatoes and this is our plantain. I feel like I need more. I don't think this is enough, but we would have to work with this. Hopefully it lasts for a few days. Then we're going to be using red oil, so palm oil. Depending on what you want to do, you can decide to use palm oil or you can decide to use tomato paste. Personally, I'm going for the palm oil option. So that's what we're doing. So our ingredients would include palm oil, crayfish, Maggi cubes, seasoning, our meat stock, and all of that goodness. But let me show you all of this magic, how it comes together. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to put in this into the water that is kind of boiling. I do believe that this is a lot of water, so I'm going to reduce the water. Now, look at this oil. You can see that some of it is congealed still, so I'm just going to put it next to the fire so it can melt properly for us to use it. And in as much as you don't want your plantain porridge to be too watery, you also don't want it to be too dry. So you need to be able to strike a balance between the water that you're going to be using. And seeing that we have this, which is our stock water, I don't want to end up with too much water, so I'm going to reduce this still. Okay, so we're just going to let this cook a while before we add in our plantain. Now the belief is that this is harder than plantain, right? So to cook, that is. Okay, so at this point we're going to add in our plantain. Let's just check this and see how far it has gone. Not yet done, which is good. So we're just going to add in our plantain. And this looks like it needs more water, but we are not going to be doing anything about that. That's not our problem. You want to say that. However, we need to add this in now. Don't stir, don't do anything. Just add it in. Rinse it out. If I said we're not stirring, right? Allow it to cook. I think I'm going to reduce the fire at this point. Let me see how our oil is looking. It's warming up, but it has not fully I've not gotten what I want from it, but it's getting there, as you can see. So just leave it right there still, because we're not yet ready for it anyways. So at this stage, our plantain has started to boil. So let's just check in on our potato and see how it's doing. I see that our potato is done at this point, but our plantain is, still rough around the edges. Look. So we know it's not done as yet. So usually you have to try to wait till it is done to add in the oil. So we're just going to give it a few more minutes, see what it does. Probably add in a little bit of water as well. And probably reduce the fire some more again. So we'll be back. Okay, so at this stage, we are ready to add our oil. So you shake your oil. Shake, 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 shake. Oh Lord. I grew up watching my mommy shake oil. I don't even know if that's weird, but it is what it is. So, mm, one thing I've learned with this oil is that somehow you have to be able to gauge the amount you need so you don't put too much and end up having your thing taste oil. Oops, that doesn't always work, but you could try. So, some people usually add tomato paste to this. I'm tempted to, but once I open my tomato paste, I can't use all. So I don't want to do it. Let me see. You have to make sure that your food has not started burning because porridges tend to burn after a while. So you need to be careful. I still don't feel like our plantain is ready, but it will get ready while we cook it. That's the plan now. So at this point, I'm going to increase the fire because I want the oil to, do its thing. I don't want it to taste like red oil when we finish. And leave it for like 5-10 minutes. Okay, so those who like onions, this is the stage where they actually add their onions. People like me, I add my onions when I'm doing my I add my onions when I'm doing my meat because I don't like onions like other people. Well, I won't say I don't like it. I don't like to see it. So by the time I add it to my meat and then I add the meat stock to the food, once it gets to this stage, everything melts into the food, right? So yeah, it's a win-win for me always. But if I add it at this stage, I would still be seeing that onions, and I don't want that for me. We're adding our flavored pepper at this point. Give the food some flavor. I think this is bad. Yeah, so we'll be throwing that away. Then have some crushed pepper as well that I'll be adding. Our crayfish is going in now. You have to be generous with your crayfish. Your crayfish gives this what you want it to give. Then our peppers. Have to be careful because anyhow this lifts and everything pours in, your food is ruined. Some salt. Not a huge fan, so oh, just like I run from it basically. Oops, I forgot I had corned beef to add to this, so I have to add in my corned beef before I add any more salt to this. If not, it will be a salt competition because corned beef is already very salty. So now Maggi cubes. This is basically the stage where you consider stirring, but once you stir this, get ready for it to start burning. So in as much as you're going to stir it, you can either reduce the fire or take it away from the fire and then stir. Why is my nails trying to embarrass me on the internet? My God, that ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. Come on. Oops. Wow. Wow. Struggle. Okay. Okay. So next I'm going to be adding my basil. I'm a lover of basil. Basil. At this stage, our baby has started smelling and filling up the atmosphere. So our parsley, I never get enough parsley like this, so I just open it and I pour. Now I'm going to add in our leaf because our leaf is dry. The last thing you should add should actually be your leaves, especially if you have fresh leaves. But we are working with dry scent leaf, so I want to add it in on time so that it starts getting used to what it has to do, which is, starts getting a little bit softer in there. So this is our scent leaf that we'll be adding. Like a lot of scent leaf, but let's go. That's all we have. I was supposed to get some spinach. Spinach would have been really good, but we don't have that. So we're going to work with what we have. So at this point, you should consider tasting it before adding anything else. But let's see, let's see, let's see. What's this? Okay. So remember I mentioned carefully stirring this in. That's what we're going to do now. Carefully stir so that we can actually taste it. Right, so our porridge just started coming together. It has a good bit of water, but that's okay. I need to taste it. So let's go. Oops. Okay. I taste our sweet plantain somewhere. Time for this. Remember I told you we had this to add. So I'm going to add this before I add anything else. Imagine I'm crying for water and I'm adding more. Maybe I'll be okay like this. Okay. I think at this juncture, it's safe for you to also add in your meat because remember your meat has its own taste as well. So you want all that taste to start marinating. I personally don't think this has enough pepper as yet, so I'm going to be adding more pepper to it. I also think it could get a little bit more crayfish. But we have let's add just a little bit more. And then this is some Cameroon pepper, I believe. I'm going to add in some. And then break up this corned beef so that can know what we're doing, right? Okay, I'll come this all broken up. Let me check and be sure that our food has not started burning. Hasn't. That's good. It scares me like my food burning before I'm ready for it to be cooked. So slowly turn it. Basically, this is what the porridge should look like. So we're almost there. I'm going to give it another taste at this point. Still not feeling that pepper the way I want, but okay. Yeah. Salt, not bad. Okay, so at this point we have our fire at the lowest possible place. We're going to be replacing all of our ingredients while we let this cook. We are satisfied with what we have. I'm going to add a little bit of chicken seasoning. Ow. Since we barely had any chicken. And no more pepper, no more Maggi, no more salt. That's enough, right? So let me check if it has started burning. No, not yet. Great. So at this point now, I'm going to move it from this fire and then stir it in properly. I actually haven't stirred this in the whole time. So now I'm going to stir it in properly off of the fire. See how the meat them are looking. If we need more meat, I personally don't think so. Let me check and be sure that the plantains are actually done, because they were having a bit of a hard time getting ready before. Seems like they are. I mean, from what we see, right? I can't see any old ones. I think the old ones were what was giving problems, because I can't see any old ones. Now we'll just let this cook for. I mean, to me, it's okay the way it is. Like I said, I don't like it too dry, so it's fine. And it tastes good. It was actually a good idea to add that ripe plantain in. Kind of made it, I don't know, they gave it flavor. But yes, so few minutes and then we are ready. Okay, final check. Yes, it is burning. I can tell. It is burning, guys. It is burning. Whee! So yeah, this is basically what we have. Final check. Oh, it's too much for testing it. Let's go. This is why you shouldn't have stirred it. So it's burning. I mean, I don't mind it like this though. So I think I'm going to turn it off at this point, because once you turn it off, it's going to get hard and that will be fine. So let's see what we have. We have plantain. Don't really have. Okay, let me add a sweet potato to this. Trying to snap this. And there, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to almost the end of this video. See, burning signs. I have to turn off the pot. If not, I may end up with nothing. And I honestly cannot afford that. Not after all this work. So let's go taste this now. I turned off the fire over the pot. So let's see. This would need a spoon. Mm. 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 Tastes good. Let me try our meat. I don't even know which meat I got. Looks like the pork. Yep, looks like the pork for sure. Mm. Mm. This is good, guys. This is so good. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. Okay, let me try our sweet potato. Mm. Mm. It's good. Mm. Mm. I'm coming. Remember I told you we need a spoon, right? So I want to try the sauce by itself. Just to make sure I have everything covered. Wow. Hmm. Nice. I would definitely enjoy eating this. Ooh. Anyways, on that note, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment. Let me know if you'll be trying this. And of course, don't forget, you don't have to use the dried scent leaf if you don't have any. You can just use your spinach, okay? And this tastes good. Let me know what else you want me to make. See you in the next video. Bye.
Long as you got your eyes, got your drippy on them private jets, taking trips, come back.